welcome back to Nightingales. Right, we are actually on Monday, and hopefully we're going to get everything we're going to do today. A few more bits to show you. I thought this would be a good one. We've still got the remnants on bench, the things happening. You've seen some past videos. This is the Merlin engine, our ceramic coating, and we stripped down and just starting to put it together now. Bearings and the gearbox, which had a tooth off it, and a few other bits. Just checking the parts out. But the thing today is Fantic exhaust systems. Now, over the years I've done loads of them, especially the 200s, and I've seen them over the years where they're butchered. They look like Frankenstein when they've been cut into, and all to get deposits of carbon out of it. And I've had some fantastic results on some of the early two-strokes. What we've got to remember is as well that some of these bikes we seem to have imported as well, which come in like the Fantic 200s, the 240s, which still have nice lighting kits and all the switches and everything else on. I don't know, I've spoke to customers on this, and this particular customer mentioned it. And he didn't mind me showing this part, by the way. As usual, I ask people if I can show parts. But I think when they genuinely run, I know the climate's good in certain places, and the condition of them seems to be exceptional. But I think when they've been run on two-stroke and they actually go for a proper ride, and they get blown out. I think when we've gone through the years of converting them into trials bikes and we ride them round and different oils and everything, two-stroke oils, and the bit for luck as usual, they get bunged up. But the ones I seem to get in from away, they seem to be pretty good. I've had them to the point where I've nearly doubled the weight and gone through different stages to get it out. And the back boxes as well, because as you know, most of you on the Fantics, you'll probably change the original to let it breathe for a West exhaust or something similar, and it makes a vast difference. But a lot of the front pipe and a lot of the original old back pipe did get blocked up. But I've never cut any myself. I've always gone through a series of chemicals or 6,000 watt ultrasonic big machine in the workshop pulse to break it down. Now what happens is this coming on Friday, and the idea is we're going to check it for, usually I weigh them, but it didn't feel excessively heavy, this one. I do weigh them and see what I get out of them. So what I did on Friday, I put a chemical into the exhaust and put it into the ultrasonic, and the idea is I've let it soak over the weekend, because if I tell you how you could probably do this at home, apart from the ceramic coating, it might just be a thing to help you out rather than go for someone Frankenstein it. So we'll have a look now. As I say, it's been soaking, then I'll tell you what I've soaked it in and what you can put it in. Okay, so I've got the back box, the original style back box, and the front pipe. So I'm going to take this now, it's still full of chemical, it's been in since Friday, and I'm going to pour this out into a sieve, into this bucket, just to show you, you know, what we may get out of it. So we'll see, and it can be nothing or loads, and we'll go the other way. And then what we'll just do now is we'll just fire some water down there. Bit more. Gonna start having a look in here. See the big deposits of the carbon, look. There's even bits of wood in there. I'll just put a bit more in. The next thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to dry this out, put it in the oven, because anything around it might just break the last bit up. As I say, it doesn't feel excessively heavy, but these were restricted, you know, but it's such a lovely exhaust, this, the finish of it. It doesn't actually have one dent in it, and what's surprising with this, I must say, the actual front pipe is probably one of the best. I mean, as a restorer, this front pipe is absolutely superb. Usually they've got all the crustiness like we get on the LCs and the worn and the mottling and the erosion and dents. But this is beautiful, is this one. If you were restoring a bike, this would be the one. All right, look at this one. So we get close up look. I'll look a bit out of that end. Whoa. That's what we want to see. So I'll just get some more water and try it down it again. And then I'm going to dry this one out in the oven. He does it. Trying to put it on a bottle with a top on it so we're not spraying. Right. A lot of deposits there broken down. Now at this stage, I'm happy with this because we're going to go one further. When we dry these out, I'll put them in the oven and show you. We'll get them dried out. And then we'll put an airline down them and see. This is the part, you see, it's always here. A little bit in this bottom corner. It's good that. We'll dry that. All the original look, the logo, fantastic. We'll dry that out and put an airline down it. And then I'm going to blast it through with a super fine oxide. Then blow it out again, wash it out, acetone it, prepare the outside, and then eventually spray this, which might be on today's video, with a nice satiny ceramic coating, again 625C, petrol resistant, brake fluid resistant, and a factory finish and inclusion free. Yeah, superb exhaust that. So you've seen already, you know, we've got a mixture of stuff, and I think we'll get the same out again with that, especially these heavy deposits. So what I actually, it comes back when people send me a message. You've got a couple of things at home. There's many tricks you can use. Obviously, if we're trying to dissolve certain things, we're using enzymes. If you're at home and you was doing this with a little bit of ventilation in garage so we don't blow the roof off your garage, you could go to two things. What I did with this is, I put this at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. I put a little bit of acid into it, just a rinse, and then I flushed them out. And then I put methylene chloride in it, which methylene chloride, it kind of superseded trikethylene in the early days. And I've used methylene chloride over many years on big capacity sites I had with jig cleaning in the car industry, talking 2,000 or 3,000 jigs at a time. Now, methylene chloride is not only bad for your lungs, everything else, and when you're stripping with it, you usually put a water vapour on it, on top of it, so it stops the smell. So it wouldn't be worth you buying that at home, ridiculous. The next thing you could go to is caustic soda, which you can buy from a DIY store. But it's still nasty, it still gives off gases and everything, and it can burn you. If you look at the amount of actually I put in there of that chemical, you know, it's not a case you need, you know, litres of it. It's we need a rinse. But what I suggest I do if you're at home, because if you think it's carbon and we're trying to break it down, now if you buy an oven cleaner, I'm on about a commercial oven cleaner, when you pour this in, it's like water and it come out the other end. That's not the idea. The idea is to go on again a gel. So you go for what you call a griddle cleaner if you're at home. If you looked on the internet and you see anything for cleaning griddles in catering, because it's got a gel, so it's thick. any chemical that's thin I can make thick as well. It's not a case of that. The thing is for you at home to buy it off the shelf. So griddle cleaner, what would happen is, if you bought a litre of griddle cleaner and pour that in there, it's going to stop around any serrations or anything. It's going to cling to it and it's going to hold on to it and go through. A litre will do both of these pipes, right? Then what you'd have to do is to think, like I say with tank liners, it's rushing. You know, this has had a full weekend and up to, you know, mid-afternoon now, Monday. So time, let it do its job, because it's thick, it'll cling to the sides. And then I'd rinse it out, neutral detergent, take it straight out. And if you haven't got the thing of a pressure washer, a blaster of any sort to run through it, I tend to go for just some washing up liquid neutral detergent to neutralise that griddle cleaner. And then when you take it outside and go to the drain, your hose pipe, fire it through it and let it run through. Every so often just keep on giving it a tap, because it'll come down the serrated part or break through. But sometimes when these come in, they're so heavy because they're years of two-stroke oil. As I say, there's a fair bit to come out of there. I'll get a lot more out of it. And them hard bits, as you see, you've got, you know, 1.25 inch pipe. It doesn't take much before it gets, if it's got a gauze in it, to block this up. So we'll go to the next stage now. I will do some close-ups when I finish this one, because I'd like to think I can bring this back to factory brand new, and still its pipe at the end. As I say, some people still run these pipes when they're cleaned out. I see many of them, but they're quite an heavily massed piece. I don't think, when it doesn't help it with it getting blocked up with old two-stroke and carbon, but I think they were a fairly restricted exhaust to start with, and they always weighed in heavy. So next thing we'll do, we'll get in the oven, get the oven on. I'll show you it gassed out, and then we're going to blow it out, airline it out, see what else comes out of it. I'll show you that, and then get it into a blaster. I'm on a media change today, so I'm going to do this while my older media's in, though it's immaculate media, because with that contam we don't want anything in our media. We'll see what comes out of it then. It'll clean the start of it, clean the end of it, and then we'll prep it for ceramic coating and get this painted up. So right, we'll get to the oven. Okay, so get them in, we'll get the door shut. I'll leave them in for an hour, and the next thing you'll see me doing is just giving them an airline out before we go to a dry blast cabinet. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, so just while we're waiting for them Fantic exhausts to come out and see what comes out of them again, I thought we'd just move on to something else and show you in real time. We'll get some real close-ups. Now, a friend of mine has brought these in, did a lot of bits for him. I think they're off the gt250 Suzuki. And he's taken the bolts off, he's stripped them out. What I'll do is I'll give him a quick ultrasonic as well, and then just go down everything. But the main thing is restore this back. Now what he started doing, as you can see, is taping everything up, because he doesn't want any media, which is fair enough, we do it anyway. But we've just done a few more bits. We've just any fuel pipes, and especially the choke, because that's brass to brass on a rubber sleeve, the inlet pipe, fuel, and anything else. Because you can imagine if you're blasting anything in it goes cyclonic and creates a bigger blast, and the last thing you're trying to do is get any media into this slider surface or anywhere inside. So that's right. So we're going to take these to a dry blaster. You'll have seen it many times if it's your first time watching. Ultra fine oxide with a little bit of walnut into it, and probably a little bit of glass at first. Dry media. The idea is it lets me identify, and at the same time all these lovely identifications, and the Japan will light all that up, and the brass will light up a little bit. Okay, doing that. And then we'll take them out of there and we'll put them in a wet vapour and show you that. Now the media I'm running at the moment is a couple of mixes in the glass media, It's one I use for the 70s bling of the Japanese stuff. I'm really impressed with it all the time. I've been years playing with different glass medias, as you heard me before, going on from the Verda finishes, Guzzi, Harley casings, engine casings, anything like that. So I'm hopefully these will come up. We'll just have another real close up again on them, just to show you what they're like. And we'll go to a blaster. And this is just while them exhausts are the Fantic. And going back to Fantic, as you know, we restore motorcycles. I still think the one at best 200s, you know, the 200 Fantic does take some beating. I mean, it's back to the thing, people, they get these bikes and they think if you're a bit of a big lad or whatever, but they're fantastic if they're on form, you know, especially the exhaust being cleaned correctly, and maybe a West pipe put on it, a carb refurb kit. I said going for the slider, always the slider as well. Same on these things. I mean, you can have these when they're in series and they're running. You know, the bike might have a lot of mileage on it, might not, but if all of a sudden the tick over starts going up and up and up, I always say, you know, even on the singles we do, just go with the hairdryer, just get it from cold again, put the hairdryer on it and see if you create that revs going up just in 30 seconds of an hairdryer on it. The main thing is it's expanding, and you know, 9 times out of 10 when people replace kits, they don't replace the sliders. And it is part of it, it's a serious part of it. That's why a lot of the old Italian, Japanese carbs are fantastic when they're cleaned up. But as long as they're genuine bits as well, which I always go on about, no itchy fanny Chinese stuff. But yeah, so we'll do them, then we'll bring these out, see if we can just tap a little bit more out. And we'll take them exhaust to a blaster again. I'm going to show you a few tricks I do with them, and a few tricks yourself you can do. So just while we're waiting for them, let's go and get these done. Right, so let's get these dry blasted and see what you think when they come out. I'll do close-ups again. There's a few things happening in the next few weeks. We've got my CBX, my own bike. It's starting to be taken down, and a few things done to it. We'll get into that in a bit later. It's nearly on show condition, it's a minter, but these are my carbs off it. If you have a quick close-up look. I thought while we're taking it down, it's time for not a refurb on anything, because it's running spot on all 6 carburation wise. I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to clean them up, soak them first in some solvent, take the tops off, re-sizzle finish them, and then clear coat lacquer in a semi-satin. So I'll keep you updated with that, and then further on with CBX, it's just while we're off to the dry blaster, I'll talk about them a bit. But as I say, they're always a beast. I got my first one, by the way, when I was 19, and I think there were 2,785 quid. Silver one like I've got now. And ironically, at the time, I think you could buy a cottage in the village where I live for about 20,000. So there were a lot of money then, really. And years on, and I used to screw the knackers off it, but that's, you know, one careful owner from new, only used for church on a Sunday. You know, I had one from new. It was just flat out. So the nearest thing I could get to a James Hunt's F1 car. Hence bouncing it a few times as well. So right, let's get these into cabinet. Right, so see them again. Media as usual. Everything blacked off. Come back to you in a few seconds. Right, so we're going to take these carbs out which have been blasted, ultra fine blasted, and let you see them, put them into the vapour blaster then. But just before we move on to that, I just thought we'd catch up. We've been at Kilburn this weekend watching the motocross hill climb and some trials bikes doing it. Second time I've been a fantastic event. And then watching some classic 2-strokes as well and 4-strokes. This weekend coming up, we've got Cock and North at Oliver's Mount weekend, road racing, our home town, our home circuit. Fantastic event. I'm taking a couple of bits back, I think, for a couple of customers who are there, so it'll be good. Also, if you've got anything you need to talk about or anything, I'm always available on my phone, and you can get hold of me again on the race side, or even if you're on your road bikes and you're doing some work, such as just behind you there, just on the powder coating of the wheels. Or any of the parts in ceramic coating, powder coating, soda blasting, polishing, metal finishing. Also on the specialist side, on the race side, I think we've got some vouchers probably going with a bit of discount as well up at Oliver's Mount this weekend. But really, when we get into race crankshafts and cams, piston coatings, specialist heat dispersant coatings, heat transfer coatings, when we're spraying a bit more tech side of it for that type of race meeting or racing in general, or car side even, we're there to answer any questions if you bump into us. I'm supposed to be in the beer tent on the Saturday night, and it seems as if I do get the occasional pint bought for me, and I tell you to write a price down, because usually it's a 50% discount I seem to give when I've had a few shandies. But anyway, that's about this weekend. Oliver's Mount coming up, it'll be a great event, and let's hope everything goes well, everyone's safe, and we've got some good weather. That'll be fantastic. So right, let's get these carburetors out. Right, let's have a close up where we're at then. So close up, looking lovely and clean, all identification, obviously our media again, like talcum powder, all cleaned, everything bunged off. Same with number 2, that's nice, all the original Japan, you see, ultra fine, the brass has come up lovely. So what we'll do is now, we'll go straight to a wet vapour on the glass I keep on going on about. It's a lovely colour. Again, colours in glass. And let's have a look how that goes. You might be able to see a picture on this as well of these been done. I'll bring them out. I'll show you them as they're finished. Then I'll take them back to a bench. I'll take these bungs and plugs off and show you them close up and see what you think. So that's as they are now. As you can see, just a little bit of light in them, because I've got a touch of glass in them as well. Do you see? There. So they look quite nice then. I think what I might just do, just for 30 seconds, I've just noticed, look, a couple of little dings on that bowl and a slight one there. I'm just going to take these to a bench and go over them and take them out while we're at this stage, so I'll let you see that. Right, so I'm going back to where I was a few minutes ago, taking them marks out. They might have been on the inside, there might be a bit of salt erosion, but there were 2 little dings. While you're at it at this stage, you know, it seems silly not to, so I'll just do them while we're still rolling. Take 2 to the vapour blaster. Just taking them out, look. Just taking them out there. Only little things, I say, it might be a bit of salt, you know, but right, here we go. We'll get them in, get some water on. This is a heated tank, but you might be able to see through this glass now. just as been done. Heated tanks, nice and warm, and clean media. So try and get a close up in here if we can. At this side maybe might be better. Just kind of give you some idea how it works. And then what I'll do when I've done this, I'll bring them out, as I said, take the bungs out and show you them done. And see what you think. Right, so carbs out, bits taken off, in it vapour blaster, close up view, all done, right the way around, lovely finish, lovely colour look, mint. All I've done with them, I haven't actually put them in ultrasonic. Because these carbs don't really suffer from anything in orifices like a lot of the smaller carbs do, but I've done them with a solvent wash inside. The only thing I do to finish these off now, it's not often I get an occasional sausage on the channel, and I only do this because it's a bit of ceramic, and they say, why didn't you just put some new ones in? They're only, the customers brought them in for vapour blasting. Now customers don't come in, or they come from away. What happens is, if they're a bit ferrousy, like the little breather tube there, just a little bit of ceramic coating on, sunny seconds, just onto the them heads, the little Phillips. You might want to keep these, but it's just that when you turn anything out or send anything back, all right, they might buy these for pennies, but it's first impressions when you get it back, because they're frost over like disc brakes. So that's it. Choke assembly's all nice and sweet, look. Obviously these have been stripped out by the customer, all bunged and everything. As I say, I've just given them a solvent wash, so all the identification, lovely cream, crisp carburettors ready to be assembled again. As I say, you know, I carry loads, full wall of stainless steel. The customer's not asked for that. It's just little things that when they pick them up or you send them from away, I usually leave the float balls off them, because any oxidisation or anything, but yeah, you might be putting something that's just a final finish. So I'll put them to one side. They're cooling down with the exhaust, so we'll get them out now. So we'll go from there. So right, the Fantic exhaust systems. So we'll do the back box first. Yeah, it's cool enough. So things are getting worse before they get better, because we're going to paint these. So there's two things you can do now. I mean, I have a bit of a cheat because of the time. I tend to wrap these, and I'm trying to get the last bit out of anything, and to show you what I do and what you can do at home. I'll show you what I do in the workshop a lot with any cans, and it's here. I put them into this shaker gadget I've got, and then see this one? You see how the exhaust system down there? You like that, didn't you? Right, so that's in the workshop, so I can leave things going in there. So what I tend to do is, if you were at home again and you've done it with a griddle cleaner, instead of the oven, remember, you could have put just the gas on and just keep it with torch a little bit, don't get it glowing, you know. So then the other thing at home you do with these boxes, and I'll show you with front pipe, is I just get a soft pad and get the top, I just start to give them a bit of a tap, not here because they're thicker, these cans, but the front pipes you can't do this, it's too thin. remember what come out of this on that shaker. So if I left that on the shaker, you know, this is before I go into anything now. You know, customers love the exhaust when it come in, now changed into a different colour. So what I do with this, just to show you, this could be here at home. Again, we'll have a look in the bucket. Look. We'll come to this part and I'll and the weld. So that, I'm happy, you know. So at home, you could have done it with a bit of a torch, just lightly, with a bit of griddle stuff in it, as I said. Done that. Again, it's time. It's like petrol tank sealing. I keep going about it. It's preparation of time. So I'm happy with these now. So what we've got to do now is we're going to get these back to a new pin. I'm going to blow them out now. And there's a little trick I'll show you when I blow these out, because as I say, I don't want to contaminate. I'm on a changeover of media, but a little trick we do when we haven't got the luxury of changing it straight away, and I've just put in, so I have to try and catch anything. So I'm going to do a light blast on these, and we'll see what comes out of that as the final stage. So right, again with ultra fine media, but this is what I'm going to do. If you look in the bottom of there, look, we're mint. This is for small parts or anything. So what I do is, I put that into there, and I put the pressure into here. It catches it in here, and we'll see if anything comes out of it. So I'll start this up, do that, and then show you when I finish it. I'll also do the main exhaust pipe, show you that. Okay, so I think we've got the last remnants out of the carbon in there. Not much left, you saw me shaking it all out. So I'm happy with that. So in a minute we're going to turn that back to a new lump of steam, retain all its identification on it, ready for ceramic coating. But we'll just do that with the front pipe. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to put this into there, pass some air into it and see what that comes out. So we'll come back in a sec on that. So the exhaust pipe, I've just got the last remnants of waste, dry because it's been baked. But not only that, by running this through it, this media, I've given it a good blowout. So I've got some nice shiny ends now. All the ends look all nice. The inlet's all nice and clean. So what we're going to do is I'm going to change the media now because it's due for changing. The biggest thing with media contam is that when you spray anything or you're going to paint anything, you can't have dirt in your media. This is due for changing now. So I'm going to do that. And the next pictures you see these coming out, finished, ready to hang up, and hopefully we'll manage to get some black ceramic coating on it and see what you think finished. But let's see when they come out. That close up now. Remember, we're looking for all the identification to be retained, right? Things get worse before they get better, but let's have a look when these come out. Right, so we've got these taken back. What I'll do, I'll just take my gloves off. Since the last bit of video, I changed my media, I've got brand new media in. Again, you can't afford any contamination in anything. even no matter what you're painting. So I'm changing my gloves because I don't want any even sweat off your hands can affect this paintwork with ceramic especially. You don't actually get any, as I've said before, you don't get an undercoat, you see, so we're going straight on. And your substrate, we don't have the luxury of a primer, you're straight onto it. Right, wrong form now, that's better. Okay, so let's have a look then. So close up, see the Fantic motor sign and the FM350, all its identification, such a fine media. The ends are all clean inside this end. So let's have a look at the main exhaust. So we're going to give that an airline out. All nice and clean coming out of it now. I'll blow that out. But if you actually look at the condition of this pipe, look at the original, look at this, look at this, the front pipe. It's absolutely stunning. When I say stunning, it's because being a restorer, if I was restoring a bike now, I've got dents, I've got gouges, I've got erosion. It's probably the best one I've seen, probably the best pipe I've seen. So what I'm going to do next is, we're still in real time of today, Monday. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to get this to the spray booth, I'm going to get the paint mixed, and then we'll get this painted and go from there. Alright. Right, so we're ready for painting. Fantic exhaust system, all prepared. Got most of the bad stuff out of it. Don't think there's much left in that now. The thing is, I'm going to paint this with a C series in ceramic coating. The thing is, what I usually would this, I'll tell you why with exhaust. I like, because though it's been gassed out, you can clean them, you can degrease, you can put them in 6,000 watt ultrasonic. You take these up to about 150 in the oven for 2 hours to bake. That's if you use a catalyst mix with your paint. So this C series will go straight on now. It doesn't need to go in the oven, doesn't need a catalyst. You don't get any primers with ceramic coating. And we can paint it on 24 hours, it's touch dry, where your oven would be ready to go when you take them out and they cool down. But the great thing about it is, if you bake them off in the oven, this is why when you do some frames sometimes, when you powder coating or ceramic coating, you've got to make sure you've got everything out, the internals, what could react or come back out again. Then you only need a drip and it'll spoil the paint finish. So it's a C series, like I do the race exhaust with. This is the same colour, it's a glacier black, it's got a bit of satin in it, looks very factory, strained through a 150 strainer, painting at about 24 psi. The same kind of, the ceramic coatings are doing camshafts and rods for heat dispersant and oil transfer, except they're 325 sieved at. Again, you can go oven cure or air cure, but rods, pistons, piston side skirts, top coats, you've got everything from electrical barrier specialist series, micro slicks which are like a Teflon on the side, then a heat dispersant to keep it in the cylinder head. A lot of the race side does that. And then the most popular ones are heat transfer when you've got rocker boxes or close confinement and you're trying to get it away from the cam and take it away. Even radiators, it's a good one for that heat transfer. I do loads of that. So as I say, we're going to get straight on with these. Bit of painting, C series, air cured, and show them when I get them finished. I'll just give it a quarter of an hour before I come back to you, because I'll just let them flash off so it'll start to go off a bit shiny to a more satin finish. Again, we're looking for inclusion free. We don't have luxury of polishing and all that after it. That's why we're going through metal strainers and the procedures we do. I've just acetone these down just in case there was anything. I've blown them back out again, so we're okay. Bit of a joke going on here. My good lady looks after the camera work and just said, if you ever see the camera shake, it's probably a one-liner I've said or something like, the last little bit I was just on about me, probably one of the best pipes, you know. But when you're in restoration and you get stuff like this is a luxury to get. And it doesn't matter if it's something for £5 or 500 quid. You're trying to make it like brand spanking new. And again, you know, excellent condition, this little Fantic. I'll probably get someone that's on the trials bike. But it doesn't matter if it's a gt250, a modern road bike, or any of our stuff we're restoring. Got to remember, some of this stuff's 40, 50 year old. So, once again, as I say, when we do anything on resin, it's a 2-part. We put it on a digital scale, and we mix it 18 to 1, 24 to 1, in a syringe, because we have to get the mixture right. We don't have the luxury of matte, satin or gloss. We have to mix it exactly with the resin to the paint value. On this, it's an air cure one, straight out again, which I do race exhaust with. It's not a specialist coating, though it's still 625 petrol brake fluid resistant. When you start getting up into your really high temperature stuff and your micro slicks and that, imagine your pistons and that, and your valves, valve coating, valve springs. So right, we'll give this a go with, as I say, we don't have the luxury of matte, satin and gloss, but people keep sending me these into our famous tin. I think that was the last one you saw, high temperature black. I actually tried some of that, and it wiped off with acetone. This one's another one. People put them in boxes when they're bringing restoration. They say, my mate left me one. Always a mate's left you one of these, but really he's bought it. He doesn't like to say because he knows the fit. Look at that. Okay. Anyway, we don't need that. So we'll get on. We'll have a bit of painting, and yeah, getting a good collection of them. And we'll go from there. Let's just see where we're at with this, and give it a whirl. That's it, so we'll give these 5 minutes to flash off, 10 minutes, and see what that starts to look like. We're looking a bit glossy now. We'll go to a satin in about a quarter of an hour, so I'll come back to you straight away, then we'll show what we've done today. Just take them over with a light now, and they should look superb. So, quarter of an hour. I'll see you in a minute then. Okay. Everything rocking, hang on. Right, I think we're about there. So they're just still flashing off. These will turn to a nice satin, as I said, like the race bike exhauster do. It's a different league of paint, is this. It just looks factory finish. And I hope today's kind of shown anyone at home, especially with early 2-stroke pipes, you know, it's a good way of doing it, some quick tricks. Otherwise, you can send stuff in to me as usual. Based in Scarborough, North Yorkshire. A postal service now, we can get stuff back 24, 36 hours, you know, it's surprising. You'll probably find out, you know, the speed we turn stuff round, or I turn stuff round. But you're welcome to phone me after 3 most days. As I say, this week, probably at Oliver's Mount Saturday night, might be mulling around the beer tent. I'm trying to get a free drink, as you can hear, but you might get some discount if you want. I'm taking some parts back though, to be fair. So, but yeah, I think they're a lovely finish. All the original writing, if you look close there, now it's painted in. You know, it just looks good. These will just dull off a bit now. There's our telephone mobile number down there. They're the carburetors from earlier on, just another close-up. As I say, from what they were to what they are now in vapouring, you can't help the salts or the what is it, but we've got a couple of dings out of them. Mobile numbers 07977 574 642. And you can catch up with us anytime, really. So I hope that's been a good one. Won't be doing any more videos this week till we get this weekend out the way and see what else we've got. There's a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to keep it a little bit, you know, up in the air with basic stuff like this to some more tech stuff on the specialist ceramic coating for the race side. So till the next one, thanks for watching. If you do like and put a comment in, I appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.